Greetings, Johnny and Rob. This is Jinx, bringing you guys another video response. So, nostalgic video games. Well, I've talked a lot about my favorite video game being Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy II, but there's a couple others that I do need to talk about. And Rob, it's awesome that story that you gave about Blaster Master, you and your wife. That's so cool. I have my own memories of Blaster Master. I was able to get my hands on a copy quite a while ago. There it is. But I was good friends with a kid who lived behind me. His name was Jason. And his dad, Ken, I'm sure I've talked about him a little bit before when I was talking about Final Fantasy II, but before he got his Super Nintendo, he had this massive library of games. And Blaster Master was one of them. And I got to see it played quite often. But there was another neighbor of mine, he lived across the street from me, and he was also playing this a lot. And I remember specifically one day, he was playing for probably 8 hours straight up, and he had it paused right when he was fighting the frog boss. I can't remember if he was trying to do that pause trick that kills the frog in one hit or anything like that, but it was paused right there, and I saw this giant frog and this little guy. And I thought, that looks amazing. What is this game? And I saw him playing it afterwards, and I just thought, that is so cool. So when I was over at Ken's place, I was able to get my hands on it and play it for a while. And yeah, hard. Oh my gosh, very hard. But I kept coming back to it. I kept wanting to play it over and over again just because it was just such this amazing game, just this amazing thing to play. And I have yet to beat it. I'm going to make an effort at it here pretty soon, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. And the other game is Secret of Mana. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece of work by Squaresoft, and I ate this game up when it came out. I remember my friend Wilson and I would do what we call a sleepover, but mostly it was just attempting not to sleep, stay up all night, play video games, do whatever. And he would constantly rent games that I've never seen before, I haven't heard anything about, and this was one of them. He shows up at my house with this. Neither of us knew nothing about it. I remember seeing a bit in Nintendo Power. That was it, though. That's all I knew about it. And I had the Nintendo Power issue, had the big gold dragon on the cover. I think I still have it somewhere around here. But I remember thumbing through that for hours. He and I were trying to play this and just trying to figure it out and trying to figure out what was going on. We ended up just starting a whole new game and playing it through that way. But one of the save files on that cartridge that he had rented had Flammy unlocked, the white dragon. And the most amazing, there are very few times when I can recall a memory instantly, that I can recall something so vividly. But we're going through the list, that circle menu, going through all these items, and what was that? What does this drum do? We used it, here comes this dragon, swoops down and grabs the party, and that music started. You can probably hear it now. That music, it was the second Flammy music after the sunken continent has been raised up out of the water. And it was such a simple tune. It was like 20, 30 seconds that just repeated over and over again. It was so majestic, it just gripped you. And I remember just flying around for like 2 hours, just listening to that music and just being in awe of how the game looked and how it looked when you were flying around and everything. And I finally got an opportunity to play through the game. And I have one of those old Talkboys. You guys remember that from like Home Alone 2, that little recorder thing that he had? I had one. I was actually able to get one, and I did so many just audio recordings and stuff, me and my friends playing video games and being just crazy and all that, and I opened up the Sunken Continent for the first time, and then I heard that music come back, and I just said, I've got to record this. I stuck my Talkboy up next to the TV, cranked the volume, and hit record, and I recorded probably 12 minutes of it, just let it go and let it record, and I never would have thought this would work really well, but my dad, he's a big-time fisherman, always constantly take us out to the lake every weekend, me and my mom. And we had this really awesome, just open-top fishing boat and this big outboard motor on it. And I remember thinking to myself, I got to try this. I pulled out my tape recorder, threw on my headphones, cranked it up, and hit play as my dad was driving across the waves on this lake. The music fit perfectly. I was transported to another world. It was incredible. So, there you go. Secret of Mana and Blaster Master. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. Always a good time talking to you, and I'll see you later.